Hello, everyone. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some Sid Meier's Civilization Civ 5. We're going to play 5. Not because we're not going to play 6 very soon, but because I thought it would be nice to give the old girl a send-off before October 21st when Civ 6 comes out. But we're going to talk about Civilization 6 in terms of the changes they've made since Civilization 5 was released. That means when I'm messing around with anything in this series, looking at how it works in Civ 5, I'm going to chat about how it's going to change in Civ 6, and I'll be ending this series promptly and switching over to start an immediate follow-up series when Civ 6 launches, using settings as similar as possible to this game in Civ 5. So we're going to play on some of the most basic settings in both games as a point of comparison. Continents map type, standard map size, Prince difficulty level, and standard game pacing. And then the only thing I've changed is I've turned off time victory. Not that we have to worry about that, particularly in this series, because we're going to cut this series when Civ 6 launches so we can compare how the games went. But as you can see, we're even going to keep 8 random civilizations, or 7 random civilizations rather, and 16 city-states. So the civs we play against in the next game, in the Civilization 6 version of the game, could well be different. But that's fine. The point is to have a nice conversation about both games, how they compare to one another, by having 2 games side by side that are very, very similar. So it'll be a lot of fun. This is very much going to be a series for those of you looking forward to Civilization 6, but especially for those of you who are new to the franchise and still learning about both games. So, I mean, let's face it, there are lots of Let's Plays of people with Civilization 6 right now that you can watch. It's a preview copy of Civilization 6, so the advantage when I release my Let's Play in Civ 6 will be, it'll be the released version, so it'll be a little bit later, but of course the series you'll watch here will be the full version with everything unveiled. But regardless, this is going to be a series that's focused on comparing the 2 games side by side as a way of celebrating Civilization 5 in its twilight and leading into the launch of Civilization 6. There will be lots of good discussion and gameplay, and I welcome, as always, your feedback and questions in the comments as well. I hope you'll stay tuned. So obviously we're going to play as Russia in this game and the next one as well. Russia in both games, in 5 and in 6, is a production specialized civilization. In 5, that means that any strategic resource that Catherine has at her disposal provides extra production to the nearby cities. So as they mention here, horses, iron, also sheep, uranium, and resources provide double quantity. The Cossack is the unique unit, which is the same in Civilization 6, and the Krepost is the unique building replacing the barracks. So tell you what, let's go ahead and start the game and listen to our opening narration and hope we get a good start.
Greetings upon thee, your Imperial Majesty Catherine, wondrous Empress of all the Russias. At your command lies the largest country in the world. Mighty Russia stretches from the Pacific Ocean in the east to the Baltic Sea in the west. Despite wars, droughts, and every manner of disaster, the heroic Russian people survive and prosper, their artists and scientists among the best in the world. The empire today remains one of the strongest ever seen in human history, a true superpower, with the greatest destructive force ever devised at her command. Catherine, your people look to you to bring forth glorious days for Russia and her people, to revitalize the land and recapture the wonder of the Enlightenment. Will you lead your people once more into greatness? Can you build a civilization that will stand the test of time?
So yes, I'm going to try to do that, at least for as long as we're going to be playing this series. But I just want to take this moment for those who might actually be playing Civ 5. Civ 5 has been just ridiculously priced. I think it still is, but it's been on sale a lot recently with Civ 6 about to come out. They want to try and get people into the franchise. Obviously, they want to get people excited about it. So they're making it super, super cheap. And I imagine there might be some new players watching this. This is a good screen to actually look into more detail as far as what the unique units and unique buildings do. So this really is, it's literally a replacement unit for the barracks, but you get the culture and gold cost reduction there, which is unique to the Krepost. Also, there is a special civic that you can unlock later in the game once you have governments unlocked, where the Krepost comes in handy. The Cossack replaces, let's see, what does it replace? I don't think it replaces anything. It replaces a unit in Civilization 6, which we'll talk about later. But in Civilization 5, it has 4 moves. It's extra fast. The Cossack in Civilization 6 can move after it attacks, which is awesome. And as you can see, this unit in Civ 5 has a combat bonus when fighting enemies that have already taken damage. And of course, only we can build it because it's our unique unit. So I was looking at the start kind of through the transparent screen there, and this is a pretty good start. We've got a luxury resource right next to us, 2 luxury resources. In fact, we have cotton and incense. And then of course we have stone, which is a strategic resource. So that's going to help with our production in more ways than one. We can also build a mine there. And we have started on a hill, and we're next to a river, and we've got desert right next to us, so this could potentially be a Petra city if we're very lucky. And because we are Catherine and we are production focused, we're in a pretty good position to actually get to Petra before anyone else. We're going to try to. So we have our warrior here. Let's go ahead and send them on a scouting mission. In general, I'm going to keep my units on top of hills so that they can scout. Speaking of scouting, that scout's going to be done in 5 turns. Research-wise, we're going to go for pottery, because I would like to go for a religion as soon as possible. So the ability to build a shrine and also a granary soon to help the city grow faster and thus produce faster as well, because there's all these hills nearby. I mean, working these hills. Let me show you production-wise. Oh, that's not the view I wanted. See? Lots of production tiles very near the city. So we want lots of extra citizens to be able to work those tiles. So pottery, I think, is the most sensible thing to start with. And then maybe, I hear some sheep near. Oh yeah, the sheep are right there. We've got more incense and stone right over there. So it's a pretty good start. It's a pretty good start. I'm not too unhappy. I'm not unhappy with all. So we're going to go with pottery and go to the next turn. It's 4000 BC. All right, going to keep these guys moving on the hilltops because they get a little bit more visibility that way. Next turn. Going to have a new pop in Moscow in 6 turns. That's fine. Staying on the hilltops. Okay, there's our first ruin, which we will be able to get to in the next turn. Scouts 3 turns away. What have we got? Yes, 20 culture. Okay, so we're a few turns away from our first civic policy, which is fine. I have an interesting way of going about my social policies in Civ 5. All right, so this is going to be an active turn. So we can adopt a policy, but I can also send them atop that hill. I have this scout that's just finished. We're going to send you there. Okay, awesome. This is a really, really good start. Wow, we're just surrounded by cotton. So here's one thing we'll talk about real quick in terms of what Civ 6 is going to look like. If you haven't played it that much yet, or I'm sorry, of course you haven't played it that much if you don't have some kind of preview copy, but if you haven't looked too much into the previews yet, Civ 5, of course, has these different, basically skill trees set up. So there's different categorizations of social policies that you can choose in order to enhance your civilization. In Civ 6, there is an entirely separate tree, just like this research tree, this technology tree, but for civic policies that runs alongside the tech tree. So when you see the tech tree in Civ 6, you might think, oh, that looks really bare bones compared to Civ 5's tech tree. That's because in Civ 6, there's actually a lot of information and a lot of technologies and just different things, different policies and different technologies. And oh my God, there's just so many differences. There are so many things that have been pulled into the civics research tree. And then when you unlock a civics technology, if you will, a civics policy, what you can then do is every time you unlock one, you have the option to, like, kind of like a deck of cards, you go through the policies you've unlocked, and you, based on your civilization you're playing as and the age you're playing in and your government type as well, which is a whole nother thing in Civilization 6. It's looking really awesome. You can enact a certain number of policies of the ones that are available to you, of the ones that you've researched. So it's very different from this, where you just kind of have a skill tree. I'm going to go with tradition to start because I want that extra 3 culture right away. We just have 1 city right now, but it doesn't matter. Even if we had more than 1 city, then we would still get this +3 culture in the capital. There are policies I'm going to go for soon, though. I'm going to try to, that'll give me additional culture buildings, additional culture for free because of the free culture buildings. But if I go for tradition first, you're going to get that tradition boost. Notice we're now getting +4 culture per turn instead of +1. So it would have taken, at our current rate, another 29 turns or 30 turns to reach the next level of, or the next social policy. Now it's only going to take us, what? 8 turns to get there. So there we go. We're going to go for another scout because we want to keep exploring as much as possible, try and get to as many of those ruins as we can. And let's go ahead and move you here. All right, there's another ruin right there. We are 2 turns away from another citizen in Moscow. And let's go ahead and move towards these ruins here. Because I want to keep moving this scout up this direction. Okay, we've met another civilization. Oh, we're about to. I think that's Arabia, if I'm not mistaken. No, Persia. Hey, Persia. Okay, so Persia is somewhat close to us. That's a little bit annoying. And they just got to that ruin before we did. You bastards. All right, so we're going to go this way then. So this scout is not likely to find much because they're now exploring in an area where the Persians have already been. So we're going to have to send this other scout up this direction where there's less likelihood that things have already been explored. We've met a city-state, and it looks like Persia has already met them, or another civilization has already met them, because we're only getting 15 gold. That's fine. Real quick, let's see if we can play with this at all. Choose production. Okay, now I could build a monument, but we are hopefully going to get a free monument pretty soon. So tell you what, with Persia being so close, I'm going to go ahead and set up for a second city. It's a little bit soon, but we're going to go for it. So let's keep exploring with the scout here.
Shall the clay.
Okay, so we officially have pottery. We're going to move down this direction and see if there's anything down here, ruins-wise. Okay, good. There's a ruin there we can discover. Okay, so we seem to be on a fairly small section of this continent, which could be good because it provides geographical constraints and the possibility for us to kind of corner an area of the continent that can't be taken by anyone else. So technology-wise, let's see. We've just completed pottery. I think we should go for mining next for the extra production. It's probably the smartest move. So let's go for that. We're 11 turns away from our next settler. Actually, speaking of that, okay, switching to production focus actually slows it down. All right, received 80 gold. That's really not what I wanted. I'm going to try and stay out of Prague's borders. And tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and pull these warriors back because the scouts are going to be able to explore everything in that area soon enough. This is a natural wonder, I believe. Or is it just a mountain that looks pretty? No, it's just a different looking, it's just a sole solitary mountain. Interesting. Okay, so we've just unlocked our second policy. I'm going to go ahead and unlock oligarchy. So any city that is garrisoned will get extra 50% combat strength, which is a great thing to do early on when you're worried you might get attacked, because as long as you have a garrison in a city, then you can guarantee that that city is 50% stronger. Of course, one of the biggest changes, it's worth noting, that they have made in Civilization 6, the one that they have talked about more than anything, it is the headline change, is the unstacking of cities in Civilization 6. What that means is that now you will actually build districts outside of your cities to where cities are not all just going to be on one tile anymore. And certain buildings will only exist in districts. There are military-centric districts, there are entertainment-centered districts, there are science-centered districts, and they get adjacency bonuses not only from each other, but also from different types of terrain. For instance, if you put a district near a mountain, then you will get a science boost, but also a faith boost. So you have to be careful. Depending on which district you put there, depending on what bonus is important to you, because that district is going to be fixed, or at least presumably it's going to be fixed unless it gets bombed to the Stone Age. So building cities is very much kind of an expanded, almost chess game, if you will, because you really are playing a mini game with the environment around you, with the terrain around you, which is really, really exciting, I think. But it's a big departure from past civilizations, where they've unstacked the cities for the first time. Okay, so we got rid of that last bit of fog of war. I'm going to move Speaking of that defense bonus that we just unlocked, I'm going to move my unit back to Moscow. My other settler is 8 turns away from being completed. Okay. So we, unfortunately, I don't know what they got when they got to that ruin, but it doesn't appear that we're going to be that successful at getting much more in the way of like free technologies or free social policies or anything from ancient ruins. Because it seems like... Alright, we're going to have you fortify there. It seems very much. Okay, it is 3280 BC.
Not its mineral right.
3280 BC, and mining has been unlocked. So it seems like we might have a little bit of trouble getting some of the freebies early in the game because of the presence of Persia. Hey, another Civ! Okay, so here's Indonesia. Goodbye. That doesn't bode well for exploring this part of the continent because it means that there is someone above us, but we won't necessarily be able to get any more ruins up there either. So that's unfortunate. Research-wise, all right, it's 3280. What do we need next? We could go for writing and go ahead and go for that great library. I think I'm going to do that because we are Russia. We're going to be able to produce wonders a little bit faster given our production bonuses, especially since we are about to have, well, this won't really help with wonders, but having a second... Actually, yes, it will help with wonders because you can build a couple at once if you really wanted to. But that second city will give us an ability to produce other things, have 2 different places to produce things as opposed to just 1. Okay, looks like we found some ruins, which is nice. And a natural wonder, which gives us a happiness bonus. As you can see, we have 2 from the discovery of natural wonders. So we've discovered, I believe, 2 natural wonders altogether, right? Wasn't there another one down here somewhere? Let's go over here. Oh, crap. Hey, barbarians. Haven't actually run into many barbarians yet, but now we found some. Barbarians in Civ 6 are a whole different animal. In Civ 5, they have these berserker units that are just wandering the countryside, and you have to fight them when you find them and try and survive with your units, etc., and just hope for the best. Okay, hang on. What's the best way to do this? I could forward settle the crap out of Persia. They would not like it. I could put a coastal city right there next to some of the other luxury resources in the area and guarantee myself that sugar. I'm going to do that because that'll help me block off this area of the continent for myself. All right, so let's go ahead and go for that shrine. We do need a worker as well, sooner than later. I'm going to go ahead and go for the shrine, but then I'm going to queue up a worker. Tell you what, how much money do I have? Workers are not... okay, yeah, they're 310. It's work boats that are cheaper. What am I doing? Yeah, that's right. We're going to queue up a worker. Tell you what. Let's put the worker first. We need that worker. We need it yesterday. The extra settler is going to be nice because we are going to forward settle Persia a bit. They're not going to like it. All right, so here's Indonesia. Okay, good. We found some more ruins, and we got 20 culture. Perfect. That's going to give us the ability to get the free monument in our first 4 cities. So as you can see, our culture per turn just went up to 6, and we're about to found another city, so it's going to go up again. It is 3080 BC. So you're going to pay me 1 gold per turn for an embassy, are you? They want to know where my capital is. I'm going to say no. They're going to find out soon enough anyway. So we walked straight onto that that ruin and got that culture. But anyway, as I was saying, in Civ 5, these barbarians wander the map with these berserker units, and they just attack you, and you can get better against them, etc. And you can still do that in Civ 6, but the main unit that wanders the map in Civ 6 is a barbarian scout. And as soon as the scout finds your city, it turns around and it runs back to the encampment. The scouts are easy to kill. The actual armies that get sent out from the encampments are not. Barbarians have been given that substantial buff in Civilization 6 that is going to be extremely challenging to deal with when you're new to it. Even some of the most experienced Civ players that I'm aware of have expressed, maybe not frustration. Okay, we're the first to meet Milan, that's good. But just surprise at the difficulty of the barbarians. Okay, so those barbarians are gone. I think there's another city-state there as well. Okay, there's some barbarians. Yep. Antananarivo, or what is it? Antananarivo. Hey, I said it right. Okay, so we've got lots of gold now. Our settlers here. Persia's going to be pissed, but we're just going to try and be nice to them. And be like, hey, please don't hate me too much. I am going to go ahead and go for the granary here, because that's going to give me faster growth. And we're 7 turns away from our worker in Moscow. So that is really going to help us lock down this continent sooner than later. All right, let's move this scout back here. We're going to try and stay out of the borders of these city-states. Okay, our apologies. Please don't hate me. Pantheon founded. An unknown civilization has started worshipping a pantheon god. Goddess of protection, which gives a similar bonus to the one that I already acquired through culture. So that's good. We're going to move our scouts this way. Let's take a look at the land as we know it so far. So the map is, or at just the world as we know it so far. The map is expanding out this direction a little bit. But there's this, we're just on this long continent. We're on the tail end of it. I'm glad it was not just a small island. I'm glad it kept going this way because we did find some useful ruins that have been beneficial to us. And now we have +8 culture per turn because we have 2 monuments. Every time we forge a monument now, or forge a new city, we get a free monument for the first 4 cities. So 2 more cities get free monuments. Also, in Civ 6, when you're playing as Rome, Rome's special ability is called Trajan's Column. And that ability actually gives you what is usually going to be a free monument every time you found a city. The reason I say that it's usually going to be a free monument is there can be certain circumstances where you already have a monument as a result of something else. So the free building will become like a free granary or something like that. But anyway, so an unknown civilization has started the Goddess of Protection pantheon, which is fine. You guys can have it. Okay, so we've got an encampment there, some salt there. All right, we are officially in 2840 BC, turn 30. Moving at a pretty decent clip. Okay, good. We've researched writing. We're going to be able to start researching, or start building the Great Library pretty soon. Okay, so we found the northern edge of this continent here. Research, let's see. Let's go for... Yeah, let's go for animal husbandry next because I want to see if horses are on the map. That could be a production bonus for my cities. Okay, this scout is probably, they're going to need to backpedal a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to take them back there. We're going to try and get around this encampment with these scouts. That unit is fortified, so I doubt it'll leave, especially to attack me on a hill. That would be a dumb move for those barbarians, so they're probably going to stay put. Yep. Okay, Moscow can fire upon an enemy, so barbarians are probably near Moscow. They've wandered a little bit. Tell you what, I'm just going to fortify here. We're going to keep moving with this scout. Now watch how much damage I'm going to do to these barbarians because I have that garrison there. Boom. Tons of initial damage. Okay. Interesting. So they've attacked that scout that was trying to sneak by. This... What are you doing? There we go. All right, so we're going to kill those barbarians. Goodbye. And now we have a worker here. They really need to build things. Let's see. I don't have masonry yet. But I can build... Let's see. I think the smartest thing to do first would be to go ahead and just build a farm to help with growth. Oh good, more ruins. That's what I was hoping for. Because I don't think there are any civilizations nearby. So Moscow now has 3 citizens. Let's see if production focus is now... Oh, yes, it's much better. 4 turns for that shrine, which is 4 turns sooner for us to start on the Great Library. Unfortunately, though, that means that it's not growing anymore. I'm going to keep it at production for now. But we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Next turn. Okay, we now have archers. Because of that upgrade from the ruins, that's quite handy. St. Petersburg has grown. They're already at 2 citizens, which is quite nice. Production focus, how much would that help? It would help with the granary. It'd be 11 turns sooner, but the city's not going to grow. Let's keep it at default for now. And go to the next turn. It's 2640 BC.
Thou shalt.
All right, let's see. I think archery. Yeah, archery is the clear choice now. And let's go ahead. Before I end this episode, I want to have the Great Library building in Moscow. I don't have any horses, which means, unfortunately, none of my cities were sitting on any horses. Were any horses revealed nearby? No. Okay, yeah, I mean, there are some near Persia. That's actually kind of convenient. Actually, no, it'd be more convenient if they were near Arabia, those Arabian horses. But there are no horses near me, so I did not get any special bonus resources just yet. Now let's... Oh, okay. My scout unit here needs to back off a little bit. We're going to hit these barbarians. They are a little bit too far away to be a threat to my worker. And we're going to get the Great Library started. And on that note, I will go ahead and cut this episode here. And in the next one, as you can see, we're going to hope to go for the Great Library sooner than later. Let's see what would happen if we... It's going to take 27 turns right now if we go to production focus. Yeah, we really want that 21-turn Great Library. And we hope to get it because we're going to get a free technology from it. It's always a good thing to rush in the early game. As a matter of fact, it's such a good thing to rush that it's become kind of a cliche in Civilization V fandom, but we are going to go for it, and hopefully we'll get it. And of course, we need to focus on getting a 3rd city up sooner than later as well. But thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I upload new episodes in a series we're going to call Russian Sunset every day at noon Eastern Daylight Time, which is GMT -4 for those of you not in the States. And comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next episode.